to deal with the SABC, because if you take issues very seriously, I don't see any reasonable person saying that I'm going to investigate SABC. As James has already alluded to the issue of disclaimer from the organization, when the organization is on track and you only have one qualifications, you are saying now we are doing investigation because the SABC is collapsing. There is no way that SABC will collapse under our watch. We want to emphasize this. Previously, SABC, we know that there were many historical issues. We have dealt with those issues that are historically, but I'm also amazed that people who are called there, some of them are opposition to the SABC. They are opposition people who are fighting for the SABC to collapse. And you want them to talk about governance. What they know about the SABC governance when they are outside SABC, because SABC should deal with governance issues. SOS, I don't know who they represent. I'm amazed that they are there. I also hear there are some parties that are going to be invited or they have been invited. I don't know what informs that, because the fact of the matter, we are competing with other media houses. The fact of the matter is, we as SABC, we are not getting funding from government. I want to emphasize, we are not getting any funding from government. The only funding that we are receiving from government is less than 3%, which is grants. And let me explain grants. Is for educational programs, is for digital migration. SABC rely more on commercial. I want to emphasize the taxpayers issue. People are making all this hullabaloo. SABC is misusing taxpayers' money. Which taxpayers' money people are referring to? Because if people read the SARS, because we account to SARS when it comes to tax. You know, when you pay TV license, you are paying for your service. It is not the taxpayers' money. You can go there and confirm with SARS. They will tell you it is not a taxpayers' money. So people have been misleading the public about SABC misusing taxpayers' money, when reality is SABC depend on commercial. Yes, it is true that the Broadcasting Act deals with the issue of the public broadcaster and the way public broadcaster should handle issues within public. We are in agreement with that. We are in agreement with the constitution of this country, where it says Parliament, they need to oversee, especially the portfolio committee, oversee the SABC. But we are also saying, you know, if we are not getting funding from Parliament or from government, we get funding from commercial. And I have been alluding to this issue to say, how do we open our books when the funding is coming from left, is not coming from right? How do we open our books? Because the danger here is a huge implication. We reveal our finances and our partners today. I can tell you, tomorrow SABC will collapse. SABC financially will collapse. People will lose jobs in this country, which we are not prepared to play. We are not saying we're going to cooperate with ad hoc committee. I'm on record to say when the noise comes, we should face the noise. And I'm ready to face the noise. The SABC is ready to face that noise. But this noise, we need to be very critical when it comes to the SABC, because we rely more on commercial people who are funding SABC. It's not government. If SABC, they were contributing 100% funding the SABC, what will be the reason for SABC to say we can't give you all information? There will be no reason. What they need to do is to fund SABC so that they don't have these issues that we are saying. Some of the documents we can't give you because there are clauses when we do this partnership. And let me tell you, we don't have relationship with MultiChoice only. We have many business relationship with many business companies. Immediately you reveal all the information, you are doomed. So we have a duty to protect the organization. And I want to emphasize, when you read the Broadcasting Act, it's clear SABC should use other means to get funding. SABC, we are using other means to get funding. That means that we are using now is we partner with big companies to make sure that they contribute to the SABC and financials of the SABC. So those clauses prevent us to give that information to the third party. We are willing to cooperate. We are willing to make sure that we go and defend the organization as SABC. But also it is very shocking that people of South Africa, some of them, how do you question 90%? When 90% empowers South Africans and Africans. The same parliament applauded the SABC. Well done, SABC, about local content. After well done, now you have investigation dealing with the same people who applaud SABC. Now I'm saying this is politics. And if you have been observing in that committee, someone came in, when actually, in my view, when I was observing, the chairman was willing, but this is my personal view, I may be wrong, the chairman was willing to give the chairperson an opportunity to deal with the issues that he was concerned through his legal team. But someone came, the mood change, body language change. I realized, hey, here is politics here. We are dealing with a different issue here. We are not dealing with real issues. But no one is above the law. All people need to be respected. I did also engage some of the members of that ad hoc committee because I was not happy the way they have been dealing with the chairperson. For some of us, we don't have a problem. If you have drama, I also hit back with drama. I don't have a problem. But in this case, we need to respect people with disability. We must respect that. The way we treat other people, I don't think we can use the same methods to treat the chairperson of the board. I think it was uncalled for some of the comments, and I confront some of those people. It is not a secret. I raised my own concern. I said, here you need to understand you are dealing with someone different. And I'm not saying chairperson is different, he can't be asked tough questions. But the way people deal with people with disability, they need to be very careful. We all have the rights in this country, including the portfolio committee, including the ad hoc committee. When they deal with issues, the sensitivity, Ubuntu should be there. This is what we are saying as SABC. But we as SABC, I can't be part of collapsing the organization financially and making sure that we reveal all the information, and that information, now we are supposed to retrench the staff of the SABC because it is reality. We reveal all this information. What is going to happen? Who pays the staff of the SABC? We get money from commercial. It's not from government. We need to emphasize these issues so that when you write about the stories, you know what is happening. I have been observing when people make noise about, no, don't pay TV license. Don't pay TV license. Don't advertise on the SABC. And I have been saying to the SABC people, actually, they are saying SABC should retrench you. That is the message that all these people who are making noise, and some of SABC internally, they clap hands, not knowing the implication is to retrench them. When investors, they don't invest in the SABC, we must protect that organization. But we must protect SABC from politics. We must be independent as a public broadcaster, no influence from any political party. That one we will defend it. 9010, I will defend 9010 in my grave. That one I will do, unapologetic. We must defend what is good for South Africans. We must defend what we believe as SABC. We are making sure that we empower our own people in South Africa. The whole continent, they are very excited about SABC. The whole continent, some of them, they are using SABC as their own benchmark when it comes to local content. Now here is the investigation, investigating the same issue about what we are supposed to do as South Africans. I want to repeat myself. You know, the world can change. I will never change my conscience when I know I'm correct. Even if I'm alone, you can say, hey, Hlaudi is mad. Good madness for this country. And that is what we are going to do as SABC. And it is very important that some of the matters that people are dealing with in that ad hoc committee, they are court matters. They are in front of the court as we are speaking. So we need to be very careful about issues that are in front of the court when we are saying we respect courts. If the matters are in court, those matters, the court should deal with the matters until the court finalize everything. I believe some of the information, they are court matters. We are dealing with all those issues in court. But also, it's amazing to realize that some of us were not called by the same ad hoc committee. When my name is all over, in due process, I'll be consulting my legal team to deal with these issues, to say, but how can my name be all over? I'm not invited to deal with the issues in the committee. We as SABC, we even ask to be part of that ad hoc committee so that we can explain the issue affecting the SABC and protect this wonderful organization and protect the employees of the SABC so that they keep their employment within the organization. The acting GCO was dealing with the issue about media. I'm concerned about this halabaloo and media playing the role of misleading the country, because that is the agenda of media, and that is the agenda of some of political parties to destroy the SABC, when SABC actually is doing very well. And we are saying this is the opportunity for SABC to clarify issues. I'm very happy about the ad hoc committee, but my unhappiness is when I don't see fairness, because we need to see fairness when people deal with these issues at the SABC, because you want to go there and deal with the issues, because for us, we don't have any secrets to hide within the organization. What we have, we are just saying part of commercial, where we know we are going to harm the organization. We are going to collapse the organization. I'm also aware that many people are being retrenched at some certain media houses. We don't hear about them. But at the SABC, good story to tell is we are not going to retrench anyone at the SABC. That is good story to tell. The only problem that can face the SABC is when we reveal all our information to the third party. And in this case, if we are clear about the process of parliament, or portfolio committee or ad hoc committee that they will protect information. I don't see any reason why can't we give them information in confidence as long as we are sure that information will stay there. But you know, some of them, and they have been doing this, we will say these issues are confidential. They will go and release press statement, you know, playing the game, trying to attract media attention. We are aware of that. So, and we are concerned. The reason why we are saying we don't want to give certain information is because even people release press statement. Example, one party released that SABC, we are in trouble because we have lost more than 1 billion. And it was misleading. And you as media, you have been running with that statement when you knew yourself that we have clarified the statement to say it was 411 million. And 411 million, I'm still saying to you today, it is not a loss. It is investment for our own people who are suffering in this country so that we empower them. Because if they are projects of national interest, that is where we put money. I have been observing people saying that we didn't pay needle time GCO. And I want to talk about not paying needle time. There are fights amongst artists themselves. And we as SABC, we have put budget aside to deal with needle time. And when we put that budget aside, we said we want to make sure before we pay, the artists, they get money. The families, the right people, they receive money. Those are discussions. The money is there, is sitting there, but we are waiting for all this collecting society to come together. And you are aware that there are so many of them, and they have different ways how they handle matters. But we as SABC, we have put budget, and we are only broadcaster who said, when the court said you pay from 2013, I think, CISO, if I'm correct, we said we are going to pay from 2006. That is wonderful for SABC. We are only broadcaster who says we are going to pay because we have been actually not doing the right thing to pay our own people royalties. The money is there. It's just that we are dealing with real issues to make sure that we distribute money to the relevant people. So there is no crisis. You know, we even pay 50,000 rands to appreciate for what the artist has done for this country. So we are very happy to carry on and make sure we do the right thing, but we're not going to rush, because some people, they want to us to rush and commit some mistake. We're going to make sure that we do the right thing. Lastly, I want to say that the ad hoc committee and some of the members, they need to be very careful. They should not fall in a trap where they are used by certain people with their own certain agendas to destroy the same organization that the parliament need to defend. Because the role of parliament is to defend this public entity. So, in our view, some people have occupied that space because also it's media attention to some of the people. For them, they think that if they deal with SABC, they are the heroes in this country. We believe SABC, we are the heroes because we have justified our efforts to empower all South Africans. And I want to emphasize, when we talk about empowering people, we are not discriminating white people from that empowerment. They are part of that empowerment. But what we are saying those people who still need to be empowered, we need to prioritize them. But we still do business with white people, because some people, they were saying, hey, it seems as SABC has taken a view. No, it is a rainbow nation. And it is what we need as South Africans to make sure that we cater for all citizens. The constitution of this country, I think all of us, we should adhere to the constitution. When we do what we do, we are exactly implementing what the constitution is expecting from SABC. Example, we must cater for all 11 languages in South Africa, which, when we introduce 90%, is part of the constitution, and we think that we are adhering to that constitution so that we as SABC, we play that role of the SABC. When it comes to equity, it comes to procurement process, we believe we are within the constitution to make sure that we empower those people, including people with disability. Because we as SABC, we have already taken a view to say we need to make sure that when you produce content, you should not take Mhlolo and Mhlolo pretend as if he's someone with disability. We should make sure that we get people with disability to act themselves on television and radio. We should make sure that people with disability, they produce content. So it's part of a good story for SABC to tell. And you can't do that if financially you are not sound. So financially, SABC, we are good. The reason why we are implementing what we are implementing now is because of all those good stories that we have been doing. And I want to add by saying that we respect the ad hoc committee, but we are saying people need to give SABC an opportunity to deal with sensitive issues. We are ready. We are not afraid to go there and deal with the issues. We will always stand and defend the organization when there is a need for SABC to be defended. And we are saying we are ready, and we respect that committee. I think the issue is maybe how people deal with the issues, because these are sensitive issues, but we are willing today or tomorrow to deal with the issues. But we want